Expanding your vocabulary is the best way to improve your overall fluency. When you expand your vocabulary, you'll improve your listening skills, improve your speaking skills, learn advanced grammar naturally, and learn correct pronunciation. In this A to Z Advanced Vocabulary series, today let's learn 25 A words for your daily speech. And in this lesson, you'll learn phrasal verbs, verbs, adverbs, nouns, and adjectives because you need all of those to speak English confidently. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. Let's start with phrasal verbs. To attend to. Notice here you have the preposition to, attend to. This is not the same as to attend a party or a meeting. To attend to something means to help or handle something. Now this is a more formal phrasal verb. It's used commonly in professional situations. You may say, I haven't attended to my emails yet today, which means you haven't read your emails or replied to your emails.
He awoke each day at 4 a.m. to attend to affairs of state.
Can you attend to this matter today? This is a very common thing that a coworker or a superior could say to you. And here's one I hope you agree with. I always attend to my students' needs. I always make sure I give my students help and support whenever they need it. Do you agree with that? If you do, put that's right, put that's right in the comments. And one way I attend to your needs is by providing a free lesson PDF. You can find the link in the description. Let's review to allow for. So again, this is a phrasal verb, allow for. This means to consider something when planning. So you can say the budget allows for unexpected costs. It means when you prepare the budget, you have an area for unexpected costs. You consider that. Or you can say we didn't allow for traffic, so we arrived late. If you allow for traffic, you give yourself 10, 15, 20 additional minutes because of traffic. You consider it. Or you could ask, did the architect allow for future expansion? Did they consider it when they planned the design?
Social media allows for a vast global connectivity.
Let's review to add up. This is when an explanation or outcome makes sense. But this is most commonly used in the negative. So you can say his explanation just doesn't add up.
That math just doesn't add up, right? It just doesn't add up.
This means his explanation doesn't make sense. It isn't logical. It's like saying, I don't believe it. Or you can say something about her reaction didn't add up to me. It's like saying, to me, I didn't believe her reaction. Or you can say, does his story about the project add up to you? Does it make sense? Is it logical? Is it believable? Does it add up? Let's review to account for, and there are two common meanings of this phrasal verb, so I'll explain both. First, to account for, this means to explain the reason for something. For example, the manager couldn't account for the missing files. So the files are missing and the manager couldn't provide a reason. Or maybe they provided a reason, but it doesn't add up. Or you can say, how do you account for the sudden drop in sales last quarter? How do you explain that? What's the reason for it? Or you can say his nervous behavior accounts for why people don't trust him. So it's the reason why. Now, another meaning of to account for is to make up or form part of something. This is commonly used in reports, economics, and the news. For example, tourism accounts for nearly 10% of the country's GDP. Or online sales now account for more than half of the company's revenue. They make up. Or do these expenses account for the difference in the budget? Do they represent the difference? Now let's review verbs at the more advanced level. To ascertain, ascertain. This means to find out or confirm something with certainty. This is a more formal or professional verb. For example, the police are trying to ascertain the cause of the fire. So they're trying to determine with certainty. Or, can you ascertain whether the package has been delivered? This is a formal way of saying, can you make sure or can you find out with certainty? You could also say, unless she ascertains the facts, we can't move forward. Now, of course, notice that conjugation of the verbs because you need to conjugate it with the subject and the time reference. So pay attention to that conjugation as we go through this section. Let's review to appease. This means to calm or satisfy someone, often by giving in to demands. For example, the manager appeased the angry customer with a free drink. So made the customer less angry. Tried to please them, appease. Or you can ask, how do you appease an angry client? Maybe you're new on the job and you're not sure, you want to know the strategy. Or you can say, if we appease them now, conditional, they may expect it every time. And you can't give in to demands every time. Let's review to augment. This is a more formal way of saying to increase or make something greater. It's commonly used in business, economics, and the news. The company augmented her compensation package with stock options. This is a very positive thing. It means they improved or increased the compensation package, which means the total value of what she earns. Or you can say, if you don't augment our marketing budget, we'll lose the election. So if you don't increase or improve. Or you could ask, how can we augment the effectiveness of this campaign? So you can augment something that has a quantity or something that is more a benefit or a value, like the effectiveness.
Can we augment brain function in a way that allows those with mental illness to come out of the shadows?
Let's review to alienate. This means to make someone feel isolated or unwelcome. You can say his rude remarks alienated his colleagues. It made the colleagues feel unwelcome. Or you could say, I'm worried this new policy could alienate our loyal customers, the customers that come every day. But now this new policy makes them feel like, well, you don't want me to come every day. Or you could say, if leaders ignore feedback, notice that conditional, if leaders ignore feedback, they risk alienating employees. Risk is your gerund verb. That's why you have the verb in ing. Let's review to alleviate. Alleviate. This means to reduce pain, difficulty, or stress. You can say the medicine helped alleviate her back pain. It reduced it. It made it better.
You want to alleviate your suffering. You want to soothe yourself.
Or you can say, what can we do to alleviate poverty in our community? Reduce it, make it better. Or you can say, if he spoke about his problems, he might alleviate some of his stress. Now let's review adverbs. Adding adverbs to your speech instantly makes you sound more fluent. Let's review amicably. Notice that syllable stress on the first syllable. Amicably. Amicably. This means without arguments or legal action. It can also mean in a friendly way. So you can say, I hope we can settle this dispute amicably. So without involving lawyers, in a friendly way. You can say the marriage did not end amicably.
You know, a lot of marriages end in divorce, often not amicably.
The marriage did not end in a friendly way. Or the two politicians chatted amicably before the debate. So adding that adverb gives you more information and helps you determine the feeling or the mood. Let's review apprehensively. This means in a way that shows hesitation, fear, or worry. He looked around apprehensively before sharing his idea. Or if you drive too apprehensively, you could cause an accident if you take so long to change a lane because you're driving apprehensively. You can start your sentence with this adverb. Apprehensively, she picked up the phone. This is a common strategy in novels. Let's review assertively. This is in a confident and forceful way, but in a positive sense. She spoke assertively during the debate. This is a positive quality. You need to handle customers' concerns more assertively. So you have to do it with more confidence. Or again, start with the adverb. Assertively, she volunteered to lead the project. This makes a big difference. Imagine you replace it with apprehensively, she volunteered to lead the project. So adverbs can completely change the meaning. Let's review allegedly. Allegedly. This means according to what is claimed, but not proven. This is often used in the news. He allegedly stole money from the company. People say it, but it hasn't been proven. You can start with it. Allegedly, Terry Crane's fashion design wasn't an original at all. So this person stole the design. Allegedly, allegedly. Or you can say, we're allegedly getting raises this year. So if you say this to your coworkers, it means, I heard this, we're getting raises, but it hasn't been confirmed.
But he's Republican, allegedly.
Let's review artificially. Artificially. This means in a fake or unnatural way. It's commonly used with food. You may ask, was this drink artificially sweetened? So is it sweet because of the natural fruit? Or did you add chemicals to make it sweet? You can also use this with economics. If prices rise artificially, demand will drop. So it means there wasn't a valid reason for the price to increase. It was artificial, artificially. Or you can say, she gave an artificially sweet smile. It means her smile was not genuine. It was fake. Now let's review nouns. Ambiguity, ambiguity. Notice that syllable stress, ambiguity. This is a situation or statement that has more than one possible meaning. Remember, this is a something, it's a noun. Let's rewrite the contract to avoid ambiguity. So you want to avoid something. Or you can ask, how should I deal with ambiguity in the instructions? Or if ambiguity remains, if something remains, if ambiguity remains, the team will miss deadlines. Now notice in all of these examples, there was no article. This is a noun, but there's no article because it's being used as a general concept. Let's review asset. Asset. This is something valuable owned by a person or company. You can say her English communication skills are her biggest asset. So notice this isn't something tangible like your house or your savings account. It's a skill. You can still describe skills as assets. You can ask, how many assets does the company currently hold? Now in this case, it sounds like more physical things or money in bank accounts, investments. Or how about this one? We couldn't solve the conflict amicably, and now they're seizing our assets. They're taking our home, our car, because they need to pay the legal fees because we couldn't solve it amicably.
Right? I mean, use those assets, catalog those assets, and show it as a regional strength.
Let's review anomaly. Anomaly. This is something unusual or unexpected that doesn't fit a pattern. It's very commonly used in scientific, academic, or even the news. You may say, the scientists noticed an anomaly in the data. So there was something that doesn't fit the pattern. Or you can say, have you seen any anomalies in the report? So as you're reviewing the report, does something stand out because it doesn't fit the pattern? Or when describing a behavior, you may say, I understand I was late today, but that's an anomaly. So me being late is unusual. It doesn't fit the regular pattern, so don't be mad at me. It's an anomaly. Let's review atrocity. Atrocity. This is an extremely cruel or violent act. You'll hear this in the news a lot. The news reported an atrocity committed during the war. Or maybe in a language exam or just an interesting discussion, someone might ask, how can humanity prevent such atrocities? Or the news may say, if atrocities continue, the conflict will only escalate. You'll hear this from politicians a lot as well. Let's review accolade. Accolade. This is an award, honor, or special recognition. The actor received several accolades for his performance.
Thanks so much for this absolutely amazing accolade.
So it could be positive reviews in the media. It could be an award. It could be just people praising and talking about him. Accolades. Or on a language exam or in a job interview, they might say, tell us about an accolade you're proud of. In a sports context, if the team wins, they'll earn international accolades. Now let's review adjectives. One of my favorite adjectives when I want to sound more formal is astute. Astute. This means having sharp judgment or insight. She made an astute observation during the meeting. So here the adjective describes the noun observation.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very astute observation.
You can say, that's an astute comment to give positive feedback to someone. That's an astute comment. And I generally say, that's astute. That's astute. Because you can just use the verb to be astute, or you can modify the noun comment. Or you might say, thanks to your astute feedback, we revised the budget. Let's review amiable. Notice that pronunciation, amiable. This is a person who is friendly and pleasant in manner, like me. She's known for her amiable personality. Or if our boss were more amiable, employees would work harder. Despite the project's problems, he remained amiable throughout the meeting. So he's really stressed out, but he still was very friendly to everyone. Let's review arduous. Notice that pronunciation, we have that j sound, arduous, arduous. This is very difficult, requiring great effort. Of course, you can say becoming fluent in a language is an arduous task. It does require great effort, but it's worth it, right? Or you can say, was the training as arduous as you expected? Don't forget that as with your adjective. Or you might offer to a friend, if the hike is too arduous for you, we can rest along the way. Let's review amenable. Notice that pronunciation, amenable, amenable. This means willing to be persuaded or cooperative. She was amenable to new suggestions. So she was willing to consider them and even change her approach, change her opinion because she's amenable. You can ask, is the client amenable to changes in the contract? Is the client willing to change the contract? Or you can say, if they're amenable, the process will be smoother because not everyone is amenable. Let's review affluent. Notice that syllable stress on the first syllable. Affluent, affluent. This means having a lot of money or wealth. This is more formal than simply saying wealthy. They live in an affluent neighborhood. Is your city considered affluent? Someone could ask you, or even on a language exam.
Washington, D.C. is an area that is extremely affluent.
Or you can say the campaign is designed to attract affluent customers, customers who are wealthy, affluent customers. Did you enjoy this A to Z series and want to keep going with the next letter? If you do, put let's go, let's go, let's go in the comments. And of course, make sure you like this lesson, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And here's another lesson I know you'll love. Watch it now.